You know, it strikes me that bringing a new medicine to people who need it is this incredible race against time, years of research, then these crucial clinical trials.
Hmm.
But the traditional way we run these trials, collecting data and analyzing it way later, it can
Hmm.
feel like trying to win a Grand Prix while only checking your dashboard after every single lap.
That's a powerful analogy, yeah.
And in that time, so much could be happening. Patient safety. Is the treatment even working?
Absolutely. That traditional linear approach, I mean, it served us well for a long time, but it inherently builds in delays, doesn't it? The insights we get are often retrospective.
Looking backwards.
Exactly, which really limits our ability to react quickly to, emerging information.
Well, today we're diving headfirst into a really dynamic area that's looking to change that whole paradigm. We're taking a deep dive into how real-time data analytics is, revolutionizing clinical trials.
Mhm.
You shared a transcript that really illuminated how this technology is becoming this kind of central nervous system for trials, constantly feeding information that can impact everything from how closely we monitor patients to the big decisions being made about the study itself.
Absolutely. And the shift towards real-time data analytics isn't just about speed, though that's part of it. It's about fundamentally enhancing the quality and the agility of clinical research.
Agility,
It
right?
gives you a lens into the trial as it actually unfolds, allowing for proactive adjustments rather than just, reactive measures after the fact.
Okay. So for you, the learner, our mission today is to really unpack the core ways this real-time analytics acts as this incredibly insightful tool. We want to give you a clear understanding of the tangible benefits, the exciting potential, without getting bogged down in a blizzard of technical jargon.
Keep it accessible.
Exactly. Think of this as your express route to becoming truly well-informed about this cutting-edge evolution in medicine. Okay, let's unpack this. When we talk about real-time data in a trial, what does that actually look like when it comes to monitoring what's happening with patients?
Well, what's fascinating here is the move away from these static snapshots, data points collected here and there, to a dynamic, continuous flow of information.
Continuous, okay.
In the past, yeah, we might collect data at scheduled visits maybe every few weeks or months and then analyze it after a significant chunk of the trial was already done. Real-time analytics lets us see data virtually as it's being generated.
So hang on, instead of waiting until, say, the 3-month mark to analyze adverse events, you could potentially see a trend developing within days or even hours.
Exactly, yes. The transcript you mentioned likely details how these constant data streams provide this ongoing overview of the trial's progress. And this immediacy is just crucial for identifying potential issues.
Like what, for instance?
Well, for instance, if a particular group of patients starts reporting an unexpected side effect, real-time monitoring can flag that anomaly far, far earlier than traditional methods ever could. That allows for swift investigation.
Wow. That raises a really important point about patient safety then. It sounds like this could dramatically reduce the risk of harm.
Precisely. Early detection of potential safety signals allows for prompt investigation, prompt intervention. Imagine a scenario where a specific lab value starts trending negatively in just a subset of patients.
Okay.
With real-time monitoring, researchers can be alerted to that pattern, explore the potential cause, and maybe implement changes to the protocol or the treatment plan if needed, potentially preventing more severe outcomes down the line.
And it's not just safety signals, is it? What about just sticking to the plan?
Right. Similarly, if there are deviations from the study protocol happening at, say, a particular site,
Hmm.
real-time data can highlight those inconsistencies, enabling corrective actions to maintain the integrity of the research itself. Super important.
It's almost like having a 247 safety net woven right into the fabric of the trial itself.
That's a good way to put it.
Now, what about getting the right people into these trials in the first place? Recruitment. That can often be a huge bottleneck, can it? How does real-time data help there?
Oh, absolutely. This is another area where the dynamism of real-time data offers significant advantages. The transcript probably touches on how analyzing enrollment data as it's coming in can reveal crucial patterns and potential obstacles.
How so?
For example, we can track in near real time which recruitment sites are successfully enrolling patients and, maybe more importantly, which might be struggling to meet their targets.
Ah, so you could actually see almost live if you're reaching the diverse patient populations you actually need for the study to be meaningful.
Exactly that. Analytics can help pinpoint which specific patient subgroups, maybe based on demographics, disease severity, other relevant characteristics, are enrolling at the expected rate and which are lagging behind. And this This granular information lets trial sponsors make timely adjustments to their recruitment strategies. Maybe they decide to allocate more resources to underperforming sites or refine their outreach and advertising to specific patient groups.
Or even change the rules a bit.
Potentially, yes.
Mm.
They might even revisit their inclusion and exclusion criteria if they seem to be unnecessarily limiting enrollment of certain needed groups.
So it's about being much more nimble and targeted in your approach to finding the right participants, not just casting a wide net and hoping.
Absolutely. More focused. And the impact of this on the overall trial timeline can be quite considerable. By optimizing recruitment, minimizing those delays, real-time data contributes to bringing potentially life-saving therapies to patients sooner.
And better data, too, presumably.
Yes, and it helps ensure that the study population accurately reflects the real-world population who will ultimately benefit from the treatment. That enhances the generalizability, the applicability of the trial results. It's huge.
Okay, the idea of a trial that can actually adapt as it goes along. That sounds almost futuristic. How does real-time analytics make these adaptive trial designs a reality?
Right, this is really a cornerstone of the revolution brought about by real-time analytics, adaptive designs. The transcript likely discusses this concept. They stand in contrast to traditional fixed designs,
Where everything's set in stone from day one?
Exactly. The protocol, sample size, treatment arms, dosage, it's all locked in from the beginning. Adaptive designs, however, allow for pre-planned modifications to be made based on the accumulating data as the trial progresses.
So the study itself can actually evolve based on the evidence it's generating.
Wow. Precisely. And the near real-time analysis of key efficacy or safety signals is what triggers these pre-specified adaptations. It's not just changing things on the fly, it's planned adaptability.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Say an interim analysis reveals that one treatment arm is showing significantly better efficacy than others. The trial might be adapted, pre-planned, to enroll more patients in that winning arm.
Makes sense.
Conversely, if a particular dosage level is demonstrating unacceptable toxicity, the trial could be modified to reduce or even eliminate that dose. Or, in some cases, ineffective treatment arms can just be dropped early.
That sounds incredibly efficient and, honestly, from a patient perspective, much more ethical. You're not keeping people on treatments that aren't working or are harmful any longer than absolutely necessary.
Exactly. That's a key point. Adaptive designs offer the potential for really significant efficiency gains by reducing the number of patients exposed to less effective treatments and accelerating the identification of promising therapies.
And ethically.
Ethically, it's also more sound, as you said. It minimizes the time patients might be in a suboptimal or even harmful treatment. These kinds of adaptations, which optimize the trial for statistical power and patient benefit, they're really only practically feasible with the continuous insights provided by real-time data analytics.
So it enables this whole new approach.
Yeah, think of it this way. Traditional trials are like setting sail with a fixed map, maybe drawn years ago. Adaptive trials with real-time data are like having a modern GPS that reroutes you around storms and guides you towards the most promising destinations based on current conditions.
That's a great analogy. Okay, so this constant stream of data has to be coming from somewhere practical. What are the key digital tools that actually enable this real-time data collection and analysis?
Right, good question. The transcript you shared most likely highlights the critical role of various digital tools in making this continuous data flow a reality. Because let's face it, traditional paper-based methods simply cannot handle the volume and frequency of data required for real-time analytics.
Right. I can't imagine researchers frantically manually transcribing data fast enough to make it genuinely real-time. It seems impossible.
Precisely. Impossible. We're talking about things like electronic data capture, or EDC systems. These allow for the direct recording of patient data in a secure digital format, often right there at the point of care.
Okay, EDC. What else?
Then you have wearable sensors and other digital health technologies playing an increasingly important role, continuously monitoring physiological parameters like heart rate, activity levels, maybe sleep patterns, and transmitting that data in near real time.
So it's a much more integrated and immediate way of capturing what's actually happening with the participants moment to moment almost.
Absolutely. These digital tools don't just facilitate the collection of richer, more frequent, and often more objective data compared to traditional methods.
Less subjective reporting.
Yes,
Yes.
potentially. But they also significantly reduce the chance for data entry errors, and they speed up the entire data management process.
Right.
And that efficiency is absolutely fundamental to enabling real-time analysis and ultimately informed decision-making.
Okay, so faster monitoring, smarter recruitment, these really flexible adaptive designs. It's clear how real-time analytics is making individual clinical trials more efficient. But what's the bigger picture impact on overall trial efficiency in the whole drug development pipeline?
Right, connecting the dots.
Right.
If we look at the broader landscape of pharmaceutical research, the cumulative effect of this enhanced monitoring, optimized patient recruitment, adaptive decision-making,
Yeah.
all driven by real-time analytics, it leads to significant gains in the efficiency of the entire drug development process.
How so, specifically?
Well, shorter trial durations become a much more tangible possibility. Faster identification of effective treatments means less time and fewer resources are spent studying ineffective ones. That's a huge saving.
And shorter development times ultimately mean potentially life-saving medications reach patients sooner, right? That's the bottom line.
Exactly. That's the goal. Reducing the time it takes to complete clinical trials can accelerate the availability of new therapies to those who really need them. And, if we bring this back to your interest as the learner and gaining knowledge quickly and thoroughly, real-time analytics offers a more efficient and direct route to generating robust clinical evidence. It's really about obtaining reliable answers in a more timely manner.
Now, it sounds amazing, but are there any hurdles? Any challenges that need to be considered when implementing real-time data analytics in clinical trials? It can't be a completely frictionless process, surely.
No, that's a crucial point to consider. Absolutely. The transcript you shared may well have touched upon some of the complexities involved, and they are real.
Like what?
For instance, ensuring the security and privacy of the huge volumes of sensitive patient data being continuously collected is paramount. That requires really robust systems and protocols.
Makes sense. Data security is huge.
Definitely. Then there's the infrastructure needed just to handle the sheer volume and velocity of real-time data and to perform the sophisticated analyses required. That can be a significant investment.
And getting the data itself right.
Yes, ensuring the reliability and accuracy of data coming from all these diverse digital tools and then integrating these different data streams smoothly, that can present some real technical challenges.
And I can imagine that interpreting this constant influx of information requires a specific skill set too, right? It's not just about having the data.
Precisely. That's a key bottleneck, potentially. The ability to discern meaningful signals from all the noise in this continuous flow of data requires sophisticated analytical tools, yes, but also deep expertise in areas like biostatistics and data science.
New roles, new training.
Exactly. And there might also be evolving regulatory considerations regarding the use of real-time data in making these critical, sometimes trial-altering decisions during clinical trials. It's essential to have a well-rounded understanding, the considerable benefits, yes, but also the potential challenges.
Right, a balanced view. Now, you mentioned earlier connecting this to some real-world examples, maybe drawing on some of our OPR&D sources where relevant. How are these principles of, say, efficient data handling playing out in other areas of pharmaceutical development? Is there overlap?
That's a great question. While the explicit term real-time analytics as applied specifically to clinical trials might be a more recent focus, the underlying principles, continuous monitoring, data-driven optimization, they're certainly present in other stages of pharmaceutical development, including things often discussed in OPR&D sources.
Such as?
Well, for instance, think about process development for manufacturing a drug. There's a huge emphasis on meticulously monitoring and controlling reaction parameters.
Yeah.
Temperature, pressure, mixing rates, often in an automated fashion.
Huh.
That reflects a very similar drive for continuous data and immediate adjustments to ensure quality and efficiency.
Ah, okay. So even if it wasn't patient data in a trial, the fundamental idea of constantly tracking key indicators and making changes based on that information, that's a common thread across the board.
Exactly. Consider a continuous manufacturing process for a drug substance, which is a big push now. Sensors throughout the system are constantly feeding back data on critical quality attributes.
Right.
If a deviation from the desired range is detected in real time, automated systems can often make immediate adjustments to bring the process back into control, ensuring the product quality stays consistent. This proactive approach to quality control, it really mirrors the proactive safety monitoring enabled by real-time analytics in clinical trials.
That makes a lot of sense. It's about having a much more dynamic and responsive system, whether you're synthesizing a new drug molecule in a reactor or evaluating its effects in patients during a trial.
Precisely. It's that shift from static to dynamic control based on live data. And as digital technologies become more and more integrated across the entire drug development lifecycle, the ability to gather, analyze, and act on data with increasing speed and precision will only continue to accelerate innovation and, hopefully, improve outcomes.
All right, so as we bring this insightful deep dive to a close for you, the learner, let's try and crystallize those key takeaways. What are the most transformative ways real-time data analytics is impacting clinical trials?
Okay, I think, in essence, we're witnessing a fundamental shift towards more dynamic and responsive trial monitoring. That directly enhances patient safety and data integrity. Huge win there.
Definitely.
We're also seeing the emergence of smarter, more targeted patient recruitment strategies. These can significantly accelerate trial timelines and help ensure more representative study populations, which makes the results more useful.
Right.
And perhaps most significantly, as we discussed, real-time analytics is enabling the much wider adoption of adaptive trial designs. This fosters greater flexibility and efficiency in decision-making, all based on accumulating evidence as the trial runs.
For me, the real aha moment is realizing just how much more agile and, frankly, ethically sound the entire clinical research process can become. Instead of just adhering rigidly to a preset plan, you have the ability to learn and adjust course in near real time based on what the data is actually revealing.
That's a crucial understanding, yes. It's moving from a more static, sort of predetermined approach to a dynamic one that learns and evolves as the trial progresses. That ultimately leads to more robust and reliable results faster.
And hopefully for you, learner, this has provided that valuable shortcut to grasping a really complex but important topic without feeling overwhelmed by, a mountain of technical information.
We certainly hope so. It's definitely a rapidly evolving field, and real-time analytics is undoubtedly a key driver of its transformation. No question.
So here's a final thought to really get you thinking, something to mull over. With the increasing sophistication and integration of digital tools generating these continuous streams of data in clinical trials, how might this incredibly rich, real-time information fundamentally reshape our understanding of individual disease trajectories and maybe even personalized responses to medical interventions in the years to come?
Oh, that's a profound question. The potential there for much more granular, truly individualized insights into health and disease. It's truly immense. It really holds the promise of a much more tailored, more effective approach to medicine for each person.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for navigating this fascinating deep dive with us today. It's been really insightful.
My pleasure. Always great to discuss these advancements.
And to you, the learner, thank you for sharing your curiosity and the sources that made this exploration possible. We really encourage you to continue delving into the ever-evolving world of clinical research.